as attacking as you possibly be. Like, go get inside out, go cut him, be aggressive, be physical. You're blocking. Only thing you need to do is get inside out on this guy. You know, right now, not getting some. You know, he's thinking he's irrelevant. I don't matter. And if you look at it from the top, this play should score if he simply does his job. So the other reason it might score, again, you hit on the head, how tight do I want him to clear? Get that toe down. It's not bad. I just think I would tell him, here, you can be a little tighter in the B gap, man. And I think sometimes his tempo, like early in the year, like I would tell him, I want you to accelerate off the mesh and get downhill. And that meant he was getting to a full sprint. Like he would get into that long stride. Like I have to tell him, Chris, play slow to fast off the mesh. Was something I started telling him to do that made sense. Like play a little slow to fast off the mesh. Like be under control on your clear step. And as you see things, hit it. You know, and that was something that kind of helped him. Because he was kind of a 0 speed to full speed. There was nothing in between. He had multiple offers out of high school, you know, in Mountain West as a corner, as a safety, as a wideout. You know, he's one of those guys about being able to play with different guys. Other people passed on him because he wasn't very developed as a quarterback. But in our offense, by now, by his junior year, by his senior year, he's going to be really good. He's about 6'2", 195 pounds right now. I think he's got a frame. Like I'm telling him, you should try to get to 210, you know, which I think will help his health and getting banged up throughout the course of the year. So again, great job. They got the, you know, with the tight linebackers inside, mugged up. This is a good job on the veer, staying square, running his A-gap veer track. Again, good job on the backside cage. Again, he's backside check step, run your A-gap, backside A-gap track. Securing B-gap. We got a good high wall. This is a good looking play inside out. So again, yes, like compliments, answers within the offense, right? Okay, one, running triple to the field. We're getting a lot of 3 technique. Not great. We could rub it. You know, this was one of those ways to, you know, to get the ball to the field, to force, you know, momentum to the field. And within the dive game, right? You see how tight and mugged up, we're getting kind of plugs. Within the dive game, you know, it kind of takes you out of some of your interior dives, turn it into a wad. So, you know, what we were getting here, though, is mirror defensive tackles. They're going to play the release and squeeze in a big B gap. This was a really big play for us in this game in general. Against the shade, basically. So I got a couple clips of that. Okay, next clip. Okay, this is interesting. So things we're making in this game. Look at the stance of the interior D lineman. What technique do you think those guys are playing? You guys see this at all? Just flat off the ball, mirror defensive line. Yeah, they're read DTs, right? So when you watch this from the box, I didn't know who had the ball here. I thought the fullback was going to score and knock his head on. Chris said, man, and again, look at the ball being on the back leg, big ride, big read. He just like, man, I felt it. Yeah, I felt them falling in. I felt the big B gap. I'm like, I'm taking it. Okay, veer's pretty easy. Again, we get into the 3 technique. Again, good job running the A-gap track.
I know for us, we've got to get off the ball.
Yeah.
That's good, even if it's a pretty solid A-gap. How far back?
On the backside cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, his landmark, he tacks it via the neck, you know, for us, with a 1, you know, with a gap.
The quarterback sets up behind that gap off the line of scrimmage. This is right foot down towards field start.
Yeah, you know, I would tell him on this, like, he's not doing a very good job of pulling back. Yeah. Like, he needs to get a little more depth out.
I mean, there's so much room, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like, he's not doing a good, pretty early in the year. It was a point of coaching point for him, like, Chris, pull back and off. All right, sometimes he's just getting off. So I definitely would like him to get more depth. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, against you know, it gets stout inside DTs playing on the line, right? There's not a lot of separation there, not a lot of depth between dive key and quarterback in the mesh, right? But again, I'm telling you, man, just like feel air. It's a really good job on the backside. Okay, so this is one of the reasons too, with the backside cage rules. Again, I got first play side. We're responsible for the A and B gaps, or backside defensive tackle and the backside A gap. So with a backside bullet, walked up, and it's a pretty good job. He still knows. He's just saying, hey, I got B gap. So everything kind of plays out, you know, pretty well, pretty stout and firm on the backside. One of the things, obviously, with you know, I didn't, in the base part, when we get to a 4-3 scheme, I'll get there. So this was one of those games specific for this motion. You know, you watch how much we were removing him out of the box. That was pretty good influence on that. AU, yeah. Okay, so again, with a 2 technique, pt2. So yeah, and you tell like left tackle, like blocks that matter. Like left tackle was 238 pounds, you know, at the end of the season. Not a big guy, but again, because of what we do too, we like they're obviously read DTs. Like that's a matchup he can win, right? You know, by nature, when does this play struggle? Like when you're getting tight, thick, you don't have a big B gap, right? You're getting tight squeeze B gap. You get 2 defenders in the B gap on that one blast block, and then you know also obviously. You know, if you have a D-gap rifle walk-up, there's no D-gap blocker. So that's the one thing where our quarterback will master check out of midline. All right, so we have built-in master check for that. Which against the 4-4 front, not going to be a big deal. We get the 4-3 stuff, yeah, going to be a big deal. Yeah, sound versus any front. So here we're going in an unbalanced formation. And again, it's very very compartmentalized rules with this. Everybody's kind of got their own set. So again, you know, working this way, first thing, on. And again, this is typically a defensive end, and based on their adjustment, this defensive end is now playing a 3 technique, and now he's got to read the midline, which is not something he's really been doing, right? So I like it a lot. Oh, we have great numbers on this. Good job on the veer. Really, you know, and again, good job for him not freaking out. He said, hey, look inside, right? That's my that's the dive key. I got +1, right? I got the first thing outside. So good job of getting to it. Okay, and this is actually a little bit different. This is, okay, if you notice now we're going long motion, right? And front side slot is B-gap blasting now. Huh? Yeah, different front. This was a 2 safety defense. All right, 2 safety perimeter structure. So with the long motion now, trying to pull the front side, not feeling like these guys in this look are as tied into him. All right, within a, you know, I think we got a clip, hopefully against 4-3. Again, sending the quarterback a little bit tighter into the B. He's a little wide. I think he's kind of leaving some meat on the bone. Letting things from the backside run off blocks. Yeah. So this is a good look with a gap on the backside at the cage. So again, they're responsible for play side DT. It should step together now on the gap and basically combo this up and kind of feel whose it is. And again, we talk about those looks. He's still got to know, within that, I'm still B gap. He's still cutting it off. Backside, we just give him. He's just out. Or backside rip. Oh, yeah. You look at it. Yeah, you see what we're trying to get right here. This trying to actually grab and prevent guys from getting up on the backside. Absolutely. Yeah, coach asked you getting those grab DTs or mirror DTs. You know, you hear that early on. Like, you're going to get to toss? Yeah, absolutely. We do a great job, I think, you know, within a game of communicating with our players. You know, offensive line coach, getting valuable feedback. And we really clue our players into what information they should be gathering early in the game. Like, they know what questions we're going to ask them when they come off. we say, what are you seeing or what looks you're getting. Like, we're pretty specific in the verbiage we're using. Getting unbalanced, getting influence. I think we were, I do want to say, well, like with this play, I think it's like about 78% were resulted in keeps for us this year. We don't really get a lot of, three techniques really up the field. We get a lot more squeeze and mirror DTs. That when we do get three techniques up the field, are people that maybe haven't played us as often. Or just bad players. Okay, another really good job just staying vertical on the B-gap track and just taking what shows. Chris stays a little more inside out on this, got a chance to score. Okay, here's another good adjustment. We ran it that first time and we didn't have a whole lot of influence. So other ways we can do it is do it off counter motion. And this is going to kind of complement we really run this a lot because our mid-pitch kind of comes off this counter motion to slow rotation and create leverage, and then we'd run our mid-pitch scheme or our mid-triple scheme back to it. So again, front side slot now is counter motion, B-gap, blast. Backside is now the influence, long motion. Any of you guys run this with no motion at all?
Yes.
Yeah? I gotta talk to you guys about that. Yeah. Yeah. So talk about this. So A gap veer, B2 3, B2 against a one technique or a gap down block. Nope. It's not an auto. He's probably treating it as a shade. The thing is tough, like with the fullbacks, right? If it's a one technique, they have to still run the crack of the midline for that one technique, stepping out and playing. If it's a shade, a true shade, and if he's calling that a shade, then he should, through the mesh, like know that the down block is coming and basically bonus himself in the B gap. And so if you're getting two hats in the B gap, I do like a two shade personally. If you're getting a shade, like this is a good deal. And you're getting a shade and guys are picking, trying to get their hands on the center, prevent him from getting up to second level. You're getting movement. And that's essentially how it plays out here. We end up bonusing the H to the backside, inside backer. This was pretty good. So this is also to the unbalanced side, or to the three-man surface side. And so he ends up essentially bonusing himself. But they have communication. So if he's inside, it'd be a you-me call. If he's inside the tight end, if he's a 7 or inside, he's got him. He's easy outside. As soon as he gets on, he make a me-me call. He's basically got to let him know with most adjustments to the tight end surface, he's got to let him know, like if there's a guy on the outside that we're out. So he made kind of a me call and said, I have nothing else outside me. I've got the DN. So he was pretty smart on this, thinking, well, I can just bonus myself. That's a 3-year starter, though. Wouldn't expect him necessarily to do that. And we'd still be sound. He'd still be blasting on the B gap. But this is pretty big because we end up bonusing our blaster for the hitman up top. This is good against the one. Here's that lift technique. Okay, so here you go. Yeah, last one was a shade, and we got the drive. All right, so here's the one technique. So he's going to step inside and lift. So he's just inside stepped in. We just tell him to lift. And that's going to clean this read up again for the quarterback. So if he lifts through and this one tries to play to a 3, quarterback should kind of feel the air inside and give it. That one's staying thick, and it's a 1. Okay, pull it. Let's go. So it looks to you at. Here's a good look on the inside at the one technique playing out. So again, this is wide lift technique. Got the one technique that's going to play to a 3. And you see where he's lifting now, right? It makes it clean. And what's that do, down the midline in the A gap? It creates air. So Chris can feel it. All right, feel that air and give the ball. That's a great job. Great job by all 3 of these. All 3 got to be on the same page. 1, great job of you not assuming because it's a 1 that you're not getting the ball. Number 2, great job of him lifting so that he can feel air inside and read his way there. Really good job on the gap on the backside cage. Really tight. Okay, here it is again with a 1. Okay, here we go. So we're getting into now, all right, is another adjustment within this. I talked about changing the motion backs, right? We're going to go to a lead, and we use this a lot in short yardage, tight red zone. In schemes where we're maybe getting 2 guys in the B gap, we're going to basically go front side. The front side slot is still going to be B gap blast. The backside guy is going to be number 2 on his B gap track. And he's just going to stay vertical and take what shows. It's very difficult to tell him who he's got. He just wants to take any color that shows. So it's a pretty good job. No motion from the front, so he's B gap blast. The backside guy is coming through. We go back to the wide on this. No rules changed for anybody else on the inside. But again, he's B gap blast. Here's a good look at, when we inside step and the ends get inside step, really closing the B gap. Not great, but we still find, air inside with both guys kind of creating a B gap. I would tell the quarterback if he had like a squeeze end and there was no B gap, that high wall technique, he couldn't get inside, it got flattened down, just run off the wash. We've had some big bounces on this in the past. Here's a really good look. Okay, this is against 3-4 now. So against 3-4, again, by rule, first play side, defensive lineman not to include 0 nose. So this is our dive key. Everybody's on the same page. Good job of him reading the dive and giving this ball. This play I like too with the movement teams against 3-4 because this really allows you to run on the nose, shade. The center, his big thing is rip A gap on this, just angle drive. Just angle drive and give movement. It's on the center to really feel and run off the block. Again, quarterback though, got to do a better job of getting depth. Like pull back, get off, so that he has room to read off the mesh. This is a really bad mesh by him. He knows, he just saw number 1 so wide. He does this. I don't understand why he's looking in the mesh. Being inconsistent. Again, he still play side A gap. He's still got B gap. All right. Backside guard is backside A. Gets out, he's staying vertical, and he's still backside B gap. His odd front rule is odd, and he's uncovered. He's just vertical B gap. Don't chase. Okay, here we go again to the shade. Okay, here's again the lead. This is pretty nice. Again, short yard, 3rd and 3. Again, you got a big B gap. We've been getting, again, they lined up. We got a tight D gap guy, right? He keeps falling in, making the play. Okay, so screw it. We can't influence him. Let's just put both in there and get hats on hats. 3rd and 3. Let's get hats on hats. Let Chris get his pass down and go get it. Every down splits are 3-foot splits. Yeah, the first guy is B blast. He's got B gap blast track. The second guy is, B gap take any color that shows. This is probably my favorite one of the year. Yeah, this is good against the one technique. We did a good job on the lift. Feeling there. And now this is toward the end of the year. I've been on about clearing tight into the B. That's a hell of a job. And we end up getting both guys through on this. And Corey just kind of stays vertical, take color to show. You asked about the second blast block. He just kind of get vertical, take what shows. This one, Jordan kind of redeemed himself. At least he got inside out on his guy. At least he got inside out, and this time redeemed himself. Okay, another one in this game, same thing. We were able really to hammer this with these guys. 3 technique, good big read in there. Good tight B clear. Again, Corey's the first guy through. Nothing really showing for him on the B gap. He just keeps working. And that allows the second guy through, the second blaster, to make him right. I didn't expect the number of explosive runs out of this that we had this year. You know, it's one of those things that we've gotten better with it, using the influence. All right, finally, geez, that's so many midlines on there. Belly G, real quick. Oh yeah. So the belly G, real quickly, like, number one, why do I love to play? Get all hats on the play side perimeter, especially against like 4-4. You can account for the point linebacker, get the crease secured, get that extra hit man. I talked to you about looks, you know, where the seal block is getting swallowed up, you know, by the Mike linebacker fast over the top. And then that hit man is just running downhill, making the play in the alley. Okay, belly G option for us gets all hats on the perimeter blocked and secured. It's another way to get it to grass, especially getting the 3 technique to the field. All right, and then also it's a great, you know, with the squeeze ends. Again, the squeeze ends are squeezing your veers, your inside release of your tackles, not letting you get up to the point linebacker. Another really good complementary scheme. So this is built for us around that tag scheme, that tackle and guard. Down block by the play side tackle, and the guard has a kick pull, and you know we still call it a kick pull, but his landmark kind of changes. We do run the belly dive, you know, where he is looking inside number landmark on his kick pull. This one we just changed his landmark. Play side guard changes landmark to outside number, and the only thing we tell him on this is you have a must cut rule. So again, he's going to one drop step, play as vertically he can to the outside landmark, shaving the ass of the guard off the down block, and then must cut rule on the ML line of scrimmage. So again, basically at the point of attack, again, here's our tag scheme. So the tackle, as the B gap, he's going to attack via the neck, gain ground. The guard's got the kick pull on the C gap defender. On the front side perimeter, pretty important. The play side slot, all right, within this scheme has the hitman, and the backside, or the H-back now is going to work off the edge to the point linebacker. Okay, so those really are the two. There's 3 things that are securing the crease on this. One, the guard's block on the end. That's also going to define for the quarterback how tight he can play inside out. Quarterback needs to know that. Number 2, the block of the fullback on the point linebacker securing the second level. And number 3, the front side slot block, on the hitman. So we should be 100% crease protected. Center, play side A-gap track. Backside guys are ripping just like they would in triple. So again, yes, where does it come in the offense? We've been running, triple, it's creating keeps, but we can't get to the point linebacker, and this guy keeps making the tackle on the quarterback. Wait for us to get it all covered. Or we don't like, they're playing the 3 technique and getting to the field the whole game, and it's making it tough for us to run triple effectively over there. This is a really good job, Dano, kind of bodifying, kind of play inside out as tight as you can, feel the pitch key on the crease. Oh, okay. So, yeah, playbook wise, like I told him, reverse out, snap the eyes. Probably about when I really looked at it, about 3.5 to 4 yards of depth. And I kind of tell him when I look at it, you should be about 3.5 to 4 yards of depth, probably like in the B gap by the time you hit the tackle. There's some coaching that goes to this. What I do is I just put a cone up so they actually can kind of look at it. And I tell them like, feel it, so that when you go to do it and you need to get your eyes around, you should know about what it feels like. There's tempo to this play for him. You know, if he's too fast and flat out, he can get on top of the low block on the end and not let the crease get secured. If he's too slow out, you get the backside rips and any backside things coming chasing him, and you tend to not be able to run on those blocks in time. So it is one of those things where feel-wise, I'm telling him like, you're too flat, too deep, too slow, too fast. But I do definitely, with him specifically, coach the tempo of the play quite a bit. Another one I tell him, hey, snap the eyes. Kind of one of those things, your hips tend to go where your eyes go. So snap your eyes coming out, because I want him to get to the pitch key as early as possible, and kind of play slow to fast, as you work to get flat.
You don't really worry about the
Yeah, and I'm telling him too, once he hits his depth, once he clears, like, same thing I talked about with Red though in some of those transition drills, get your inside toe down, get your shoulders flat, and feel that block inside out. There's a clip on my drill tape where I actually will do that drill you guys saw, and I will be ahead of them, and I'll kind of play sideline to sideline, and then I'll get vertical, and they should be trying to feel me and get vertical as tight as I allow them to. So it's actually a really productive drill, kind of stumbled on this year. And what I'll do is I'll make them feel me, and I'll have another guy up, so flashing numbers. So I want you to see the pitch key and feel how tight you can play. This is a good job, though, right here, getting his toes down and shoulders fat, feeling it expand. We do a great job of securing the crease. Starting right here, securing the crease on the front side. This is a really good job of Billy, shaving the tackle's ass, attacking his landmark. He's open J-step and feel the edge, and more importantly, keeping his eyes as he does, tracking on the point linebacker. And if this thing stretches, right, and he feels air, he has the liberty. If he takes it inside, we should follow him inside. It becomes quarterback, trap. The pitch key is the same pitch key in our triple count. So what I tell the quarterbacks, like I would still tell them, this is triple count, double option. So they should still come up, and they know by front, hey, that's the dive key. We're blocking him. He's going to find out how I can play. Number 2 is first thing outside. Let's go. We have very few actual counts that we use. Everything falls into those. We have triple count, mid count, which I gave you guys on the last one. And then we have end, edge. It's kind of one we use in the gun at times. And then we have an emelos count, a true end man on line of scrimmage, which is really specific for speed option. That pretty much rounds it out. It's really all built around those four counts. And then within those, I can tag box, like I said, another thing, and say, hey, we're going to treat the first inside linebacker or the point linebacker as the dive key now, so we can manipulate those. But it's still within the same count.